so excited to be back recording these podcast episodes. I took a little time off because I was doing my 25-day Rich Bitch Money Goals program in July, which means every single day for 25 days in a row, even on the weekend, I was going live and I was teaching. I was reading a chapter every single day for my book. And so I was like, I'm going to take this month off from doing any type of recording. But one of the things that I did inside of that group, so we have this free community, Rich Bitch Money Goals, and twice a year, I go live inside of that community. I do it every July, every January. And that's when I go through the 25 days. But one of the things I'm really excited about that we did this year was we dropped a Kyra in my pocket podcast, pep talk, questionnaire. Like, drop whatever you want to ask, money, business, personal, drop it and I'm going to record. So I'm excited to dive into some of these questions because I was going through them today and they're super good. Um so let me start. Like, I'm just going to do one right now and then we'll have fun with this. We'll see where this goes. But Bethany asked this question. I think a lot of people have this question. Essentially, it's like, how do I make more money? Like, how do I hold the frequency of more? But here's what she asked. So, when my business hit 30K months, something that she had been manifesting for 3 years, she said I found myself feeling empty. Okay, let me say that again. When her business was doing 30K a month, she found herself feeling empty. That's not the feeling that most people think they would feel when they start experiencing the manifestation they have been working on for 3 years, okay? She said, "On one hand, I had financial overflow and felt free, but another part of me felt guilty." Ooh, okay, interesting. Worried that I was intimidating to potential partners. You probably were for like the wrong people, right? Um Worried that I was intimidating to potential partners and like, okay, I've reached this big goal. What's next? I found I couldn't maintain that level and I dropped to something that felt safer, but it left me with more scarcity. Can you speak on what you feel is needed to expand capacity to maintain or receive in greater amounts? Henry, go away. I'm recording. Okay. If you're watching this, you can see the Doberman. If you can't, well, he's here. Okay, so can you speak on what you feel is needed to expand your capacity to maintain or receive in greater amounts? So, this is one of the things I talk about in my book, where there's a statistic on lottery winners and how majority of people who actually come into money through winning the lottery end up going broke very quickly. Because here's the thing, when you make more money, you're making more money. That's it. Nothing about your mindset changes. Nothing about your habits change. Your spending will change. Like, your spending habits will change. But the habit of you and who you are, that is not something that changes. And so when you come into more money, all you do is come into more money. But every limiting belief that you have about yourself, every self-sabotaging behavior that has been um something you're accustomed to doing, none of that goes away just because we come into money. And so this is why in the rich bitch community, I defined wealth as an experience of self, because you can come into more money and still feel broke, still have panic attacks, stress. Like, let's see, there are literally people that come into millions and they're like, when the fuck is it going to run out? Because they haven't actually changed. More money doesn't mean that who you are as a person changes. It just means your lifestyle is going to change. And not always for the rest of your life if you don't know how to grow that money, hold that money, sustain that money. So, what are some things that you can do? You have to feel worthy of more. You have to learn how to feel safe with having more. And most people don't feel safe. Like, you said it right here. There was a part of you that felt guilty. What would have you feel guilty for having more money in your life? Something that you've been manifesting for 3 years. That is what there is to look at. This is why I say in business all the fucking time. And it's mostly because this is the kind of work that I'm obsessed with. Like, if you came to me and you're like, sister, teach me how to grow a Facebook group, teach me funnels, I'm going to be like, no, I can teach you how to grow a Facebook group, but like, I'm going to do it in a very unique way, because your next business strategy and your next wealth strategy is a personal one. And this is why. So, if we feel guilty about the money that we're coming into, it's not going to want to stick around. So I tell people, think of money as a relationship. You have a relationship with money, just like you have a relationship with your parents, with your siblings, with your significant other. You have a relationship with money, just like you have a relationship with people. And if you have, let's say, money coming in and you've got this relationship with money, and all of a sudden you are feeling really guilty about that relationship, it's not going to grow. So it's really important that you learn how to feel safe with money. So what could that look like? Well, this is where the see and bitch consciously creates comes in. Like you have to create the version of you that feels safe with money. You have to know what it feels like. You have to generate that feeling of safety ahead of that money being something that is growing in your life. So I think about, something here that you said that I actually want to go back to and I want to highlight. I was worried that I was intimidating to potential partners. Okay, that really stuck out to me. I love that you shared that because the thing is, you are going to be intimidating to some people. When I started dating after my divorce, I noticed that, obviously I wouldn't go on dates and talk about money. I wouldn't talk about my life or things like that. But there's social media. Social media is like you just find out a lot about a person. Not necessarily the deep stuff, but you find out things. And so I was going on these dates and these men were just like, "Oh my god." They were so intimidated and insecure about me and my life and what I've created, so much so that I had this one guy literally tell me, "I'm not trying to keep up with your lifestyle." I was like, "What the fuck? Where is this even coming from?" Um, but you have to understand, not only will some people find you intimidating as you start generating money, there are going to be people that you think are your friends that no longer want to be friends with you. There are people that are going to judge you. There's a reason that the saying goes, it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top because if you think of the top as a triangle, it gets smaller as you get to the fucking top, right? Like most people don't get to the top because to get there requires a certain level of growth and expansion, and you've got to be able to sit in the fucking fire and tolerate that heat when most people are like, I'm out. So I don't want to say it's lonely at the top to have somebody feel like, well, what's the point of success if it's lonely there? I think it's more just about recognizing that more people in the world are in a victim mentality. More people in the world complain than they do celebrate. Most people are looking at the glass half empty than they are half full. This is why I say it's like almost weird for people if you're celebrating. It's definitely weird if you're overly happy. Like, why is she in such a good mood? As if that shouldn't just be the fucking norm. So, there are going to be people that as you grow, as you make more money, as you change, as you evolve, that are going to be intimidated by you. They're going to judge you. They're not going to like you. They're going to talk about you. They're whatever. And you're going to find that there is this pruning process of people in your life that are no longer a frequency match to who you've become in the process of change. And so one of the things you've got to ask yourself is, am I willing to sit in that fire and feel that heat, recognizing that it is helping me to morph into the phoenix fucking rising so that I can have everything I ultimately desire to experience and create in my life. There are a lot of people throughout my journey that I have let go of. There are a lot of people. I was friends with this girl. I stood in her wedding. I was one of her bridesmaids. And she's no longer my friend. I don't not because I didn't care about her, but like I changed. I grew. And my standards for people and who I gave my time, attention, and energy to, it had to be something that I really protected, like my life depended on it. And so I started to see all the ways in which I was surrounding myself with people who were not a frequency match to the kind of change that I ultimately wanted to have in my life. And I was willing, no matter how painful, no matter how much it hurt my heart, no matter how sad, I was willing to release anyone or everything or anything that was not in support of the future that I wanted to create and bring to life. And I think this is something that there has to be this willingness, there has to be this courage to let go of what no longer serves you in pursuit of who you're becoming and the life that you're looking to create and the dreams that you want to actually bring into the 3D, right? Everyone's got big dreams, but most people don't actually see them into existence or work to do what is necessary to create them. And so, this is another one of the reasons I wanted the Rich Bitch community to exist, because I know what it's like to feel highly misunderstood. I know what it's like for people judge me all the time because I buy certain handbags. Like, what the fuck? People judge me for my car. And yet they don't know the money that I've been able to donate to people. They have no fucking clue what I have done to give back to humanity. And they don't need to know. I don't need to sit there and do posts about the ways that I donate money or the ways that I give back or the ways that I've been able to contribute to people that I never, if I would have stayed broke, never in a million years would I have had the ability to do that. So there has to be a part of you that is also just okay with being misunderstood. And when we feel guilty for having money, you would have to ask yourself why, because I would challenge you to say that more money in your hands has the ability to change the world. Like, you making more money has the ability to change the world. Me making more money has had me contribute to people in this world in ways that I couldn't have done if I would have stayed broke. And so I think this is one of those moments where we have to make sure that we're also surrounding ourselves with people who fucking get it, right? The Rich Bitch community gets it. We're here to celebrate. We're here to overcome. We're here to dream bigger. We're here to have the fucking audacity to create everything we want in life, not because we need it, but because we can. And we're not ashamed of that. So surround yourself with the right people. You've got to learn what it feels like to feel safe with money. You've got to generate that feeling of safety. You have to figure out where the unworthiness is coming from. And more so, I would say, if you could swap unworthiness with something else, what would that feeling be? And then every time unworthiness comes up, you have to remember what it is that you're creating. Because I promise you, it will come up. So this is the C and Bitch Consciously Create. So I would go back and read that chapter. And then you also want to read the chapter on creating your future rich bitch self. That is, I actually have my book in front of me. Let me see what chapter that is. I feel like I should know the answer, but I don't. Okay. So go back and read chapter 9, A Rich Bitch Consciously Creates Her Life. And then go back and read chapter 17, Creating Your Rich Bitch Self. Creating your rich bitch self is everything I was doing even before I found Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. It is how I changed everything about my relationships moving forward. Like, that's the process. So I would go through that. And then I would also redefine what it means for you to have money, because there's some part of you, like, if you feel guilty having money, then you don't have something big enough at stake. Like, you're not playing a big enough game that is calling you forward to be the kind of person that generates the kind of money that allows you to do the things that you want to do, whether that's for yourself, your family, your friends, humanity, the world. I don't know, whatever that is, but I think it's important for you to redefine that. And that would be my short answer to this. This podcast was brought to you by my international best-selling book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth, which is available at over 39,000 retailers across the nation. So make sure you pick up your copy today. You can find it in places like Amazon, Target, Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and more.